Across the Ruined Sea is the scariest content that has been in Punishing Grey Raven so far.
Or at least the second scariest. Lillian is the scariest content in PGR. Unintentionally terrifying. What do you think of the exorcism coding?
Well, first of all, I think she has yellow eyes.
No, she doesn't. They're brown.
No, they're yellow. The brownness in them is to show that they're like golden, because you put brown when you color gold.
So, Bianca does have yellow eyes in some of her codings, but this ain't one of them.
I need the comments to tell me that they're gold eyes, okay? Don't let me down, guys.
No, don't listen to her. You write down that they're brown eyes. There are gold eyes in PGR for many characters.
Which is why Bianca has them.
No, but Exorcism, they were like, not today. No. She gets light brown eyes.
No. Well, in her sprite, she has green eyes.
Anyway, the frame.
My favorite thing about the exorcism coding is that it is an actual canonical appearance for her. We don't get that in codings too often. Really, the only other time in recent memory was Nanami's coding, and it looks more like the Bianca we know, which explains why it was the coding she chose to avoid mind deviation.
And she says something really interesting too. Stigmata was not originally a frame for her. It was a frame for someone else. And so then, of course, the question is, who was supposed to be using the Stigmata frame?
Well, we have reason to believe or theorize that it could have been Chiko, based on what we learn a little bit later. There was another reality where Bianca and Chiko switched places. So it makes sense that the only other option for the frame could have been Chiko.
Yeah, it sounds like the Stigmata frame was under construction and originally slated to go to Chiko. But then when Bianca was injured and couldn't check out the aquarium, they were like, well, Chiko, your Stigmata frame is not ready, but you need to go to the aquarium and investigate this death cult. And she was like, okie dokie.
It was only by sheer accident that Bianca ended up using the frame instead and not going on the initial mission to the aquarium.
And then when she didn't come back, Kurano was like, well, we have this perfectly good Stigmata frame. Bianca can wear it. Hey, Bianca, are you better? We're about to make you a lot worse.
Do you think part of the reason that Bianca was able to adapt to the Stigmata frame so easily wasn't just because Bianca is great and amazing, but also because she and Chiko were so close?
I really liked the way the game showed their friendship. Even though they're very different personality-wise, they ended up having a lot in common and ended up like really helping each other out through the hard times.
Yeah, I saw some criticism about how Chiko wasn't introduced early enough in the story to elicit any sympathy, but I kind of view it like an interlude in a way, because you only really see those interlude characters during that time, and then they're gone usually. I thought what they did with the time they had was pretty good.
And with Chiko, I would argue if you look for her, she's actually introduced pretty early. The earliest mention of Chiko seems to be Wanshu's interlude. You don't really get to know anything about her other than she's a badass who doesn't care.
Which is exactly how everyone views her.
But turns out she does care a lot. She's only really good at putting down people that she doesn't know.
It was a good touch that they showed the flashback with Bianca where Chiko tries to kill her own sister, but she can't do it. She needs Bianca's help to pull the trigger. And then later you see pretty much that same story repeat itself, where in the other universe, Chiko tries to kill the monstrous hetero-humanoid Bianca, but she can't do it because she can't kill a friend, and so she just lets Bianca kill her instead. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's so important that it did turn out the way it did, that Bianca instead was the one who got the new frame, because she did have the conviction to kill her own friend. Yeah, what I really liked is the exploration of mind deviation. I think it's a really fascinating thing in the lore of the game. I feel like it was kind of more like tell, don't show before, and they finally done show, don't tell. and that makes a huge difference for...
With this chapter, it truly invites you in to the living nightmare that is mind deviation with Bianca. Like, her wandering through these super surreal landscapes and not knowing what is real and what is fake. And in a sense, it doesn't matter because even what is fake is actively harming her was truly scary. And so cool, I have to say. Absolutely loved it.
Something I thought was pretty cool is even though there were only a few areas, like stages, to explore, they did so many things with them, like between making it upside down or making it really, really dark so you can't see what's going on. And so you felt like you were walking through a place, but really they were just being creative with the few assets they had. And I respect that. How did you feel about that animation where you descend from heaven itself to touch Bianca on the cheek?
I really liked when you touched Bianca's cheek. I was like, oh, it's gonna be okay. And the animation is so, like, I don't know, there's such a nice gentleness to it, and it really does feel like a little ounce of comfort in this very hostile world.
This is the first real introduction of the Commandant's hand in-game, and yeah, they fixed the lorem ipsum, so that's pretty sad for us, but it's probably good for Kuro.
I actually have to correct you there. We did see the Commandant's hand in Recitativo di Fantasia. You see it a lot.
Oh, yeah! That's right, when they run like a dog.
They don't run like a dog. They don't.
Okay, guys, help me out here. This is running like a dog, right? This is a dog run. The Commandant gets on all fours and runs forward like a weird little dog to grab on that dragon tail, right?
It's not right. It's not. It's not right.
Look, no one runs with their hands that far forward in front of their face. No one does that.
I do. We can't all Naruto run.
You know my way to school. So let's talk about the star of the end of this patch, Vanessa.
I would say we have 2 stars. Teasel officially debuts with a sprite.
He actually had his sprite debut in Cinderburns. Very, very briefly.
You're right, man. He looks so good.
Teasel when?
Please release Teasel. And when you do, Kuro, listen to me. Not if. When you release Teasel, do not cut his hair. I swear to God, every single male character you've introduced has either short hair or has their hair shortened in some way. The closest thing we have to a long-haired guy is Roland, and even then, it's just like a little itty-bitty ponytail. If you want any longer, you have to get that other coating.
Also Changyu, but his hair is like so tightly and smallly braided that it feels short when you look from the front.
It has a silhouette of short hair. So, let Teasel be a Bishonen. Anyway, what were we talking about?
So we were talking about how Vanessa shows up and she's got this big old scar on her face. She has shown up for the first time since surviving Lusum, and we had no idea what she was up to. But it turned out that she and Bambinata were just out surviving and fighting and getting beaten up.
Yeah, last time we saw Vanessa, she offered to lure the corrupted away from the 2 bands that were moving the wounded to a safe camp. She was like, yeah, you know what? This is where I start my character development. I'll be fine, probably. But she wasn't fine, as it turns out, and she's having a little chat with Teasel, who is directly saying, yeah, I'm betraying you, I'm out of here. And she was like, yeah, all right, understandable, have a nice day.
But before he leaves, she asks to do one thing, and that is to take a photo of Teasel and Bambinata. And Teasel is pretty surprised at this because he thinks that's weirdly sentimental for Vanessa, who is evil and bad. It almost feels like a second of like self-doubt about what he's about to do, but he's like, no, she sucks. Don't let it get to you.
Never forget how she slapped me in the face in that one. That one. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. It's bad. We don't slap the constructs in the face. I'm laughing because of how comically over-the-top villainous she was written in that chapter. We discussed it a little bit in one of our other videos.
Yeah, in Echo, Aria, Hidden, it feels like really, really early Kuro writing. Like, as if they had intended for it to go in the base game, but then they kind of forgot or something.
But what does that have to do with the Echoes or the Arias? Don't ask questions. Just put it in there.
We forgot to, introduce anything about Liv Lux. Like, she's got this lore in her info and her secrets that mentions Egret and how she cut her hair.
Yep.
But we never explained it in game. It's kind of awkward. So it's like they were rushing to fix that or to like plug a hole they didn't realize they hadn't plugged. And so you just end up with this story about how Liv has the most evil commandant ever. And she's so awful. And she slaps her constructs and she makes them dress in weird frilly outfits.
Okay, Vanessa, your outfit is fire, but the outfits you put your constructs in are terrible. Well, I'm gonna take that back. Teasel, good. Teasel's good. Maybe not I have some questions. And then Liv Lux. What is going on with that generic final, my dude? We got the maid headband. We've got the flower. We've got the puffy turtleneck. We got the bows on everything. We got the two boob flaps. We got the leotard. We got the shoes with the buckles up the leg, but the buckles aren't connected to anything. What is happening? I had to let it out. Oh my god. Anyway.
Free. Vanessa has terrible taste, basically. Or maybe that just shows how evil she is, that she would make her constructs dress like that. Maybe she does it on purpose, or at least I would have said that until we got to the end of the chapter, where she gets this nice little glow up, and she looks so much better. They redrew her.
Yeah.
She looks like she dresses more similarly to how she makes her female constructs dress, which makes her seem slightly less insane and cruel. Because she just has bad taste, even for herself.
So let's get back to the photograph. She says she wants a team photo, and Teasel is like, okay. Bambinata is just like, yes, right away. And Vanessa does not take the picture right away. She's kind of waiting. She is waiting for Liv Eclipse to enter the frame in the far, far, far background so that she can take a true team photo, the photo that she never took with her team back in the day, because she didn't care about her team. She considered them to be objects. And it really goes to show that the Commandant, the main character, seems to have rubbed off on her because she is getting sentimental. There's something very sweet about it. It goes to show that she is growing as a character, and I hope she continues to grow. But I also hope that she continues to always be just a little bit mean. Just a little bit.
We love mean girls. So, the boss of Across the Ruined Sea. Well, there was actually two bosses in Across the Ruined Sea. There was Lithos, and then there was a secret hidden boss, the hetero-humanoid Chiko. And we'll probably talk about Lithos first, because he's the main boss fight, and he's awesome. You get to fight him in his little execution chair that looks like a snake, but also like a weird creepy clown thing. And the stage for that is so pretty, especially when it transitions. And it's in that like mid-transition phase where it's all like starry looking. Yeah, we need more of that because it's great to shoot B-roll in. How did you feel about the Lithos boss battle?
Lithos got hands. That's what I have to say. What the heck? Lithos pretty much wiped the floor with me as soon as I went to fight him. That's okay because in the story mode, you cannot die. He really does feel very scary. When I saw him in the preview, I was like, oh, Lithos looks like frail and sad. Boy, was I wrong. Oh my god. He might look frail, but he is not sad. He is very excited to kill you. And I love that animation when he grabs you and like throws you to the ground. It's very scary and it makes me upset.
So Lithos has two grabs, two separate grabs.
Really? Two?
Yeah, depending on which phase of the fight you're in, if you're in phase 1 or 2. Yeah, so in the first phase, he grabs you and you see the character you're playing get lifted up. You know, it's fun. And then the second phase one is the iconic smug Lithos, where you see his expression and it's great. Playable Lithos when?
Hey, if if we got Luna and Roland and Lamia, like, in Alpha, like, all bets are off.
That's my next big thing that I want. I've decided.
No, there's another villain that I want playable before that.
Wait, who exists?
You know, my favorite character.
You don't have a favorite.
I do have a favorite, and that favorite is Villiers. No one understands. When Lithos first appeared, being like, I am the saddest creature, and I was like, no thank you, please leave. And then Lithos is like, well, actually, I'm conniving and evil, and I've been planning all along, and I'm quite powerful. I was like, oh, okay, never mind, this boss can stay. Like, he's really good.
We love a schemer.
Is that what they call him? Lithos the Schemer? It was Lithos the something.
The Swindler. Swindler.
Lithos the Swindler.
Yeah, good for him. At the end of Across the Ruined Sea, there is the fight with the hetero-humanoid Chiko, and the boss design is really interesting because we learned during the story that one of the twins, the female twin, was salvaged, essentially, after what happened with Liv. And they were able to revive her in body, but not in soul. So she was pretty much just an empty husk. And Lithos wanted her to be revived by using Grace, the human who looks like a snake for some reason.
He had to swindle her and
But anyway, yeah, she simply said no and walked away. And you know what? I support that, but...
She didn't say no. She said, oh my god, what is that? Holy shit. And like ran away like that. She didn't say no.
Yeah, well, she said no. She hit the bricks, you know? She just left. And then Chiko got used for becoming the soul of the hetero humanoid instead. And then we got Big Chiko.
Lithos says something really weird. What he wanted is he says that it would have been better if Grace or some character named Cathilla served that role instead, because they were more, at least for Grace, she was more committed to the red tide is heaven and that's what I want to do, versus Chiko, who is definitely an unwilling participant in this horrible experiment that she's going through. The question I have is, who is this Cathilla? Her name has been mentioned in the past before as well. So it just leads me to be like, who is she? Where is she from? Where did she come from? What is her purpose? I'm sure we'll all find that later, but Chiko is like kind of well, beggars can't be choosers, we gotta work with what we got situation, and Chiko is merged with the female twin and creates this absolute abomination and peak monster creation, I have to say. The female twin has her arms like wrapped around Chiko, what's left of Chiko, and Chiko's face is hidden by her hair with the exception of one single bulging sad eye that you can see in there, and then the rest of their conjoined body is just all like modeled with scars and this like weird creepy alien like patterning on it.
It's so good. I really wanted the female twin to come back, and I was so happy that it actually happened. And now I'm sad because she's gone again. I want playable female twin.
Oh my god, out of control.
They could just make others, right? You can do it, hetero hive mother.
But not only is Chiko turned into this horrible monster, but she still has an ounce of her consciousness within, because Chiko actually intervenes and rescues Bianca when she is swept away by the red tide. She, in fact, sees Chiko looming over her, and Chiko has drawn this creepy smile onto her face, as if to say, don't worry, Bianca, everything's going to be fine. But turn that frown upside down, Bianca.
It's so good. It's such a creepy image, but it's so good.
Bianca, after she is like, safe and she's pulling herself together, and she strips off the exorcism coating so that she has her generic witchy coating underneath. And she also picks up an earring that's left over from Chiko and puts it in her ear. So the earring that you see in Bianca's generic coating is in fact Chiko's earring. And if you take a look at Chiko's artwork, you can see it right there.
I love that detail so much. It makes her starting off in the other coating so much more worth it too.
Though it did call into question how coatings work a little bit for me. I was like, okay, so
it disintegrated off.
Yeah, it disintegrated off, but like the exorcism coating does not have pants, like at all. And Bianca's generic coating, she does have these like, I don't know, latex tights or pants on. So I'm like, did she have like a skin colored layer of pants over the top? I have so many questions.
Yeah, coatings don't really make sense, and that's okay. Oh, there's one more thing. At the end of Across the Ruined Sea, Noan is like, yeah, I am walking down this hallway, and then he bumps into a little girl, and that little girl is called Rosa, I think.
Right. Yeah,
and
Rosa.
This little girl is said to look very like Lithos. Lithos's name comes from a purple flower, and Rosa comes from a rose, so I'm sure their connection is deeper than just their appearance somehow.
Not only that, but first of all, Noan confuses her for Lithos at first glance, right? He actually calls her Lithos, which piques Rosa's interest. And when Bianca defeats Lithos, and she brings back Lithos's hairpin that looks like a flower, right? And Asimov is like, all right, this will be handy. And Rosa steals it, being the little precocious child that she is, and takes it to Noan and asks, where did this hair clip come from? I believe she said that her mother had one very similar back in the day. What does it mean?
And then Noan is like, I can't tell you anything because of NDA, but I can draw you this picture. God damn it, Noan.
Noan is like, I've discovered a loophole in Don't Tell Rosa the Secrets where I will simply draw what Lithos looks like. Perfect. Dad of the year.
Noan on his way to get swindled.
Oh no! Rosa the Swindler. Oh my god. Not only am I excited about what's to come, I'm excited about doing more of these, chatting about it. And in fact, if you want to hear us chat about the story and the lore, you're going to want to check out this video. AU Bianca turns into a monster and breaks your neck.
God, I wish she would break my neck.
No, you don't!